So there's this new diet, it's known as KE diet, and basically women are using feeding tubes in order to give their body a bare minimum of nutrients while losing extreme amounts of weight. So let's watch a news report on this, and then we'll talk about how crazy it is.
It is that moment of truth, slipping into a wedding gown for that dream day. But as many brides on Say Yes to the Dress will tell you, there is this real fear.
I just don't want to look fat.
Jessica says she went extreme, spending 8 days on a feeding tube, part of an increasingly popular but somewhat controversial program called the KE diet, which promises to help you shed 20 pounds in just 10 days. Dieters insert a feeding tube into their nose, which runs to the stomach. They're fed a constant slow drip of protein and fat mixed with water.
Hunger and appetite go away completely, so patients are absolutely not hungry at all.
Dr. DePietro charges $1,500 for the 10-day plan and says these before and after pictures sell themselves.
You know, that was a great report by ABC News. Fascinating story. Made me think of this.
You'll have a camera up your nose.
You'll have a tube up your nose. How do you walk around like that? Before your wedding, I mean, you're seeing family, et cetera, and these people are walking around with a tube up their nose. Aren't people like, what the hell's the matter with you?
One of the women who had that done is quoted as saying, "It was emotionally difficult, and sometimes I had to give excuses to people who were asking, 'Are you sick?' I was like, 'No, I'm not sick. I'm not dying. I'm fine.'" When you see someone with a feeding tube down their nose, you immediately think that they're dying. There's no question about that, right? Look, we have this obsession with making weddings perfect, right? The bride has to be insanely skinny and beautiful. The dress has to cost $5,000. You got to spend a ton of money on the venue. Everything's got to be perfect. All of this wedding drama drives me crazy. It's so stupid. And by the way, if you don't want to be fat, how about you live a healthy lifestyle and lose the weight in a healthy way? This is a horrible way to lose weight. Look, it sounds super tempting, right? Like it's an easy fix. Like, oh, I'll just put a tube down my throat and everything will be all right.
Yeah, you know, and you probably think,
certainly not in the orifices of the nose.
but when the doctor says go for it, you're like, okay. Now look, here's the thing. My dad recently had to go to the hospital. He's okay. And he had a feeding tube, and he didn't eat for about 5 days, and he was totally fine. And it's so funny that you bring this story up, because I thought about that. I thought, hey, you know what? I'm surprised more people aren't doing feeding tubes. I swear to God that I thought that, because he didn't have to eat anything. And so if they can regulate it so that you only get 800 calories, like in this case, right? He said he wasn't hungry at all. And I thought people are going to start walking around with these IV tubes. And that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
I bet you that this takes off. I bet you that more and more people do it. And, you know, look, they'll get it to a point where if 800 isn't the right amount, maybe it's 900 calories, maybe it's 1,000 calories, so they're healthy. And they'll figure out a way to mask it, et cetera. And eventually we're all going to look like cyborgs, you know? We're going to have like wires coming out of different places, but we're going to be hot. But that when you look at the lady with the nose thing, she could be attractive if she didn't have a tube up her nose. She looks ridiculous.
This is a disastrous diet for a few different reasons. First of all, it gives you horrible breath, which isn't even the worst thing, right? The worst thing is this.
The tube up your nose!
Yeah, the tube up your nose
Okay,
is bad too, but I'm talking about the health consequences, okay? You're constantly getting protein and fat. You're not getting any fiber, right? Your body is in a constant state of ketosis, which is one of the reasons why people on these low-carb diets lose weight. One of the biggest consequences of that is serious constipation. Because you're not getting any fiber, you're not getting the proper nutrients. And also, as soon as you take that tube out and you're hungry and you're a normal person again, you're gonna wanna eat whatever you wanna eat, right?
And you're gonna regain the weight, of course.
And here's another thing. So it keeps you full, I get it. But like 90% of the time, especially when I eat, it's not because I'm full. It's because, that looks tasty, I wanna eat it. So I would be one of the few people on the planet who would do this and gain weight.
Yeah, because you eat anyway. No, totally. Yeah. See, my dad is one of the people who doesn't care about food. So he's like, oh, it was terrific. Okay, I didn't have to eat for 5 days. I'm like, what's terrific about that? That sounds like hell. Like, 8 out of 10 times it's not because I'm starving. It's because that banana cream pie looks delicious. The idea of just getting some IV drip sounds horrible. But I'm telling you, I guarantee you more people are going to start doing this.
Well, sure, people are going to go over the edge. I mean, if this becomes as regular as you're predicting, which
I think it would. I mean, any plastic surgery, you know, some people could go the Michael Jackson route and Joan Rivers route and do too much of it. But some people just get a nose job and it's fine. You know, some people get an eye lift. You don't even know the difference. It's if they realize that they can just do this like these people are doing for their wedding. Do it for this 10 days, do your wedding, chill out, don't do it anymore because you got into your dress. I don't see a problem with that at all. It seems very basic. And you do it for 10 days, it's cool.
I know why.
But if you go over the top.
He's just another one of those guys, these horses who don't care about eating, right? Like, they're like, you know, you put straw in front of them and Jayar's like, delicious, right? It's not even that. It's that you don't eat that much, right? Like, so, like, you like the sweets, but you're going to have that and then be fine for 2 days. So, of course, you're going to like the IV drip.
I'm just saying, it makes sense. It seems very basic. As long as you don't go overboard, which people will, and they're going to be sick. And then they're not going to be able to take a dump for like a month. But I mean, that's why.
And then they'll get like a coffee enema.
It's why God created stool softeners. You know, they prescribe that to you, and you're cool, and now you get your wedding dress, and you're 10 pounds lighter.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It's all good. I mean, it's for that
IV drip
for a
and then
temporary
stool
time.
softener.
Hey,
that's our future. That's fantastic. Okay, no, this is going to get out of hand because it works. That's the real problem.